We knew that Achnacarry was the place where you became a commando or didn't. If you completed the course successfully, then you got to Greenberry. Otherwise you were put into something else. At that time the alternative was landing craft. I was well accustomed to the hills in Scotland. I did quite a lot of hill walking, and I knew the area, not in detail, but the idea of going to Achnacarry was great, and the idea of getting the chance really to become a commando. But I mean, there was a whole bunch of lads from England with us who had never been there, and while we were there the weather was pretty wild, and this was their introduction to Scotland, and so they used the old joke: if you can see the hills, it's going to rain, and if you can't see the hills, it's bloody well raining.
The training at Garrimore was a mixture. We had to teach people advanced map reading for a start. I say advanced because normal map reading, you have things like church spires, crossroads and things, but in the mountains behind Harrisegg there were no such things, so you had to teach them to do it by the slopes of the hills, etc., etc.
One of the things about the training at Achnacarry was you felt that you were really being stretched and taught important things. It was a serious place. I mean, a lot of fun, but you were seriously being taught and trained things that would possibly save your life and enable you to be a much more effective soldier. A lot of the training was challenging. We did a lot of speed marching up and down the roads round Loch Arkaig and so on. And I don't remember in detail all the things we did, but certainly it was a tough training, a challenging training, but really enjoyed. My memory of it is good. Another thing I remember about my time in Achnacarry was we abseiled down the wall of the castle. And when I see people abseiling now with their harnesses and carabiners and everything like that, I think they're doing a cushy job. We didn't have all that. You put the rope between your legs and round your body and round and onto your arm and abseiled like that. What slowed you down was the friction, and you could feel it. But I mean, we managed. That was quite a thing.
The system of pistol shooting we taught our students was based on what was taught by Sykes and Fairburn at Loch Islet. This consisted of persuading the students that if you pointed like that quickly, you would get really a splendid aim. You didn't need to take formal and lengthy aim. So one would take aim, bang, and we were also taught to do a double bang just to make certain to press the trigger twice. So you aimed, bang, bang. And if there was somebody else there, aim, bang, bang.
At Achnacarry we experienced for the first time the live ammunition which the instructors were firing, not actually firing it at us, but round about us, and it encouraged us to keep our heads down. But that was the first time we encountered live ammunition being fired around us.
I had been taught the use of explosives at Loch Islet, I'd never done it before, and after about 2 or 3 weeks of fiddling with explosives, I had to teach people how to blow up things, and why we didn't blow ourselves up, I don't know.
One of the things we all were issued with was a toggle like this. You can fasten a loop at the one end and a toggle at the other, and we each had these and we wore them around our waists, and they were useful, endlessly useful for all sorts of things. I mean, you could fasten them together and make a long rope where necessary. You can use them for making a rope bridge. The thing I most remember about them was crossing a river where we had managed to fasten a rope high up a tree on the one side, and some poor beggar went across with it and fastened it on the other side. And you climbed the tree, you put the thing over the rope, held onto it, and came whizzing down what we called the death slide. And that was one of the most useful things that you could do with this.
In, I think it was about June of 42, that I looked at the morning newspaper, and there was a story that Heydrich, the so-called protector of Czechoslovakia, who had in fact been just sending about 2,000 people a month to their death in concentration camps, that he had been assassinated. And that morning, a chap called Captain Hesketh Pritchard, who I knew, and came to me and said, "You've seen the paper this morning." He said, "Those are the chaps you trained."
At the end of our course at Achnacary, the ones who passed became commandos, and the sign of that was that you were given a green beret. This is the kind of thing. This was a matter of great pride. When we finished, we had a great sense of completion, and we were happy to say goodbye to the place. We'd lost a lot of sweat there. And we were looking forward to joining a unit and getting stuck in. I've not gone back to Achnacary itself, but I've been up to the marvellous memorial, Commando Memorial up there. I'm really very glad that they put that kind of memorial, because so many commandos were trained around there.